We are finding ourselves in a place where we have increasing polarization everywhere, and everything feels binary when it doesn't need to be. So I think we're going to have to think about a recalibration of a whole range of human rights that are playing out online, from freedom of speech to the freedom to, to be free from online violence, or the right of data protection to the right to child dignity.
What the fuck?
What's up, everyone? Jazz Broganzo here, another episode of What's Next. Of course, as always, your daily dose. I would say happy Tuesday, but unfortunately with the situations that are unfolding in Texas right now, I hope you take everything with a grain of salt as the investigation of the shootings that are going down there, and of course elementary school, and it's horrific and it's tragic. I just got done doing a video on it, but in this one, I'm going to step away and do something less serious, but still serious nonetheless, and that is our free speech. What I'm doing right now, what hundreds of thousands of people on platforms just like this do every day or every week. But you have those in this country and on this planet who want to curtail that, who want to tamp it down, who want to recalibrate free speech because of, quote, misinformation and disinformation, according to them, which of course is not according to reality. Let's take a look. This comes out of Bounding into Comics. YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki says she is preparing to silence misinformation about abortion. Yes, now she's going after something that is simply black and white. President Joe Dementia's Ministry of Truth may be dead, but YouTube Susan Wojcicki is still alive, and on the hunt to ban misinformation from her platform, she has now turned her sights on abortion. For years, YouTube has become a platform for unfriendly to opinions that differ from big government and big corporations. The platform has often banned or demonetized content creators under their ever-changing terms of service. Yes, the goalposts constantly move as the wind blows for hate speech or, quote, misinformation. In an interview at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, of course, as more stories have come out, there's a lot of situations, that you're scratching your head and that you are going, hell no, that are coming out of this forum, told the International Lobby Organization that more needs to be done to silence online misinformation. We're just really careful about what we monetize. So we always want to make sure that there's no incentive. For example, with regards to climate change, yes, climate change, because it's so based on science. We don't monetize any kind of climate change material. So there's no incentive to keep publishing that material that is propagating something that is generating understood as not accurate information, she asserted. She then added, misinformation is not new to the internet. It's been around since before and all time. But we definitely see that there is a role and there's a risk. And that's why we put a lot of effort. The report that you cited, I haven't seen that report, but there are certainly many other reports that give us a good grade there. And I think that if you look at the work that we've done across the board, it really shows a very significant, quote unquote, improvement. Now, we get to the meat and potatoes. Wojcicki would later be asked what her stance is on Roe, given that a draft majority opinion by the Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito circulated among the press revealed, no, it was leaked to the press, revealing that as it published, it would overturn Roe v. Wade, a ruling effectively to legalize abortion across the country on a federal level. If overturned, the move would send the issue of abortion back to the states, allowing it to be decided on a state-by-state level, as it should have been done from the beginning. She answered, my stance is that women should have a choice when they become a mother. I believe that's really important. I believe that reproductive rights are human rights. And to take that away, a law, a right that we've had for almost 50 years would be a big setback for women, but that's my personal view. And that should have been a hard stop, but no. Quote, running a company that has to really focuses on free speech, we want to make sure that we're enabling a broad set of opinions and that everyone has the right to express their point of view, provided that they meet our community guidelines. Yes, the ever-changing, ever-flowing guidelines. She also continued, this is going to be complicated legislation. As you said, people will want us to speak out on it. It's a draft right now. And so there's not definitive language. Once we saw it, we started to look at and try to anticipate what kind of changes that would be for our business. For example, employees, what kind of benefits we would want to offer our employees who could be in states where abortion is no longer allowed, or what implications could have for our advertising business, because of course it's all about the money. Maybe content misinformation, she related. There could always be spun. For example, people saying, oh, abortion's not allowed in this state when it really is. Well, that's kind of stupid and obvious. So that has led us to realize there's going to be a lot of work for us to understand what this legislation is and what are our rights to comply with it. Susan Wojcicki wants to now oppose a similar thought ban on the issue of abortion. Platform targeted multiple right-wing creators over the years, including one of its biggest, Steven Crowder. Okay, the World Economic Forum has been accused of creating agendas to reshape the domestic policies in countries all over the world, including the U.S. On Monday, Australian e-safety commissioner Julie Inman called for a, quote, recalibration of free speech and other human rights at the WEF summit. We are finding ourselves in a place where we have increasing polarization everywhere, and everything feels binary when it doesn't need to be. So I think we're going to have to think about the recalibration of a whole range of human rights that are playing out online, from freedom of speech to being free from online violence, or the right of data protection to the right of child dignity, he said.
We are finding ourselves in a place where we have increasing polarization everywhere, and everything feels binary when it doesn't need to be. So I think we're going to have to think about a recalibration of a whole range of human rights that are playing out online, from freedom of speech to the freedom to, to be free from online violence, or the right of data protection to the right to child dignity.
Okay, my thoughts. Misinformation, disinformation. Those two words are now burned into our lexicon, of course, thanks to the COOF pandemic and to one Lord Farquhar, Lord Fauci, and of course, Joe Dementia. But the Ministry of Truth, the governance board of misinformation or disinformation or whatever the hell it was, of course, it was a dumpster fire and it was going to crash and burn regardless. And it did. But regarding Susan Wojcicki and YouTube, this has been going on for at least the better part of the last decade on YouTube, and especially the last 5 years, as in the story. Steven Crowder, its most prominent, who have been demonetized and kicked off the platform, as has Jordan Peterson, as has Sargon of Akkad. Stefan Molyneux, who had the longest philosophy channel on YouTube, 14 years before getting kicked off because he, quote, misspoke. And there have been others who have lost monetary regarding it, and not even those who are in the political realm, but who have been dragged into it, kicking and screaming that they didn't want to be involved, also were demonetized and deplatformed. And of course, as we all know, the most infamous of them all is Alex Jones, who still continues to be kicked off the planet outside of his website and certain platforms who have allowed minimal of his channel, InfoWars. But when you have those at this conference at Davos, which is, like I said, there is suspicions all over the place in regarding to how they want to, quote, change policy that is going to affect this country and also others around the world. When you have those on that stage saying that we need to recalibrate free speech because, of course, why? Because it doesn't fit your narrative. It doesn't fit your agenda. So I don't agree with it. I need to change it, or I need to ban it. And that is what's going to end up coming out of this trash conference. And of course, no surprise that the YouTube CEO is a part of it. But you're going to have those like myself and thousands of others who will continue to push for free speech, who will continue to say what we feel, based off of facts and common sense and not be worried about the bullshit that comes out of this conference or any other, especially when it comes to censoring our God-given rights. And with that, I'm Jazz Braganzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more Jazz like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share it, subscribe to it. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.